back to Tournament Centre with me, your host Rich Hagan, and Level 4 judge Jason Ness. Jason, thanks for taking some time to be on the show.
My pleasure.
Now, tell us about judging for you. When did you start in the DCI?
I first started judging all the way back in '99, so I've been around a little while, and just been keeping with it ever since, and not really much of a break.
So you've pretty much seen the world from a judging perspective. You've plenty of Pro Tours?
I've starting to lose track. I've been to Rome. I've been to Europe a couple times. London, here, Puerto Rico, some North American Pro Tours. Been around.
And where is home for you?
I'm from Canada, Calgary, Canada, the western side of the country. And
Calgary Flames ice hockey. Is that about right?
Those would be the ones. Go Flames, go!
All right. Okay. Now we've got a little bit of a game show for you. We're going to take you through. You make the ruling. So Jason's got some questions. If you look at the table here, the judges all weekend have been giving away these fantastic foils. So we've got some easy foils if you get the first question right, some pretty tricky ones, and then right the way up here we've got these special DCI foils. Now Jason, tell us about the DCI foils. You get those for judging, right?
Yeah, absolutely. At premier marquee events like the Pro Tour and Grand Prix, this is one of the gifts that we give to our volunteer judges who come to help out for the weekend, is some fairly nice, fairly valuable foil product that they can use for their personal enjoyment, or maybe pass along to others, so to speak, for their personal enjoyment.
All right, so question one, let's have the easy question, and let's hope I don't make a fool of myself. So question one.
Sure thing. All right, your easy question is, name 4 evasion abilities.
Evasion ability. So that's basically ways for things not to get blocked. So I can go, while flying, I go over the top, I can go shadow, essentially like underneath from Tempest block. If you want to not block, unblockable means you can't be blocked, so that's fine. I need one more. I want a foil. Fear. That'll do.
Awesome.
How am I doing?
You got it.
All right. Have we got more? Let's take a look. I got flying, unblockable, yeah, shadow, fear, and more. What else is there?
Anything else that would create any sort of blocking restrictions. So you could include intimidate or horsemanship, anything along those lines. Land walk even.
All right, so a swamp walk, so unless, yeah, okay, got you. So that means I get one of these. Well, you know what? I'm a big fan. I can't believe I'm admitting it, but I quite like the Jund, so I'm going to have that Savage Land. So
I think you're going to have people oohing and ahhing over the fact that you just let that Thrynax go, but that's all right.
There is that. All right, so let's go on to the middle range question. This is where things can get a bit tricky.
All right, your medium difficulty question is, name a state-based action that is replaced by regeneration.
Okay, regenerate. That generally happens when a creature's going to die, so like a River Boa, 2/1, green regenerate. So I'm going to say that when it would go to the graveyard, when it would be dead due to damage. I deal you 4 damage, you River Boa, it dies, but wait, I'm going to spend green and regenerate it instead. How am I doing?
Very good, sir. You are indeed correct. State-based actions are any kind of action that the game is supposed to produce as a result of a certain state, such as having lethal damage or 0 toughness.
The legend rule.
A couple of legendary permanents in play at the same time.
Now, we call it the legend rule, but that also applies to planeswalkers. So Jace the Mind Sculptor, Jace Beleren, put those two together, boom,
same idea.
They're gone. Unattached auras. How do you get unattached auras?
So if a creature goes to the graveyard because it dies, what do we do with the aura? It's got to go to the graveyard afterwards as well.
And one that happens quite a lot, leaves in the game, especially if you're me.
Specifically to 0 life or to not being able to draw off an empty library.
All right, I win again. So I can have Titanic Automaton, a Battle Grace Angel. I've got one of those already from one of the pre-constructed decks. Very nice Knight of the White Orchid. But perhaps I'll start my Legacy deck with a little bit of foil ad nauseum action. So that'll do me very nicely.
Wonderful choice.
And now we get to the toughie. Between you and me, viewers, I don't think I'm going to get this right, but we'll see.
I believe in you. I think you can do it.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So, your hard question is, if a player loses his or her sideboard during a tournament, how should this be handled?
They lose the sideboard. I presume violence isn't the answer?
I'll be honest with you, with violence that would bring you up into a whole other level of rules enforcement that I don't think you want to involve yourself in.
Featuring multiple year bannings,
I
imagine. Yeah, all right, okay. Well, they have to, assuming that we're at a level where they're registering decks, so they have to register a sideboard that's either 15 or 0. We'll assume that they had a 15-card sideboard, so they will have registered 15, therefore their deck is not legal, because they've got 60 there, but not 61 to 75. So is that I guess it depends on the rules level. Is that like a game loss or maybe even a match loss? How am I doing?
Sorry, Richard, you didn't get this one, I'm afraid.
Oh.
It's actually not as bad as you might think.
Okay.
Most of our penalties are in
Ooh.
existence to mitigate some sort of potential advantage, but there's really no advantage to not being able to play with a sideboard.
No, okay.
So,
I can see that.
at all rules enforcement levels, it's just a caution. If you discover it during the course of the match, we're probably not going to let you go and take the time to see if you can find it or replace it.
Okay.
But at some point later during the course of the tournament, if you happen to find it or can replace it,
So 2 rounds later, I find it, and it's back in my deck box.
as
and on
long
my
as
way?
it's exactly what that deck list said, it's not a problem.
I wanted this flooded strand.
Um,
I wanted this flooded strand. That's not fair.
I'm afraid we're going to have to hold on to those.
That's very sad.
I'm sorry.
Now, if you would like some of these foils, you could come here to San Juan in the next 24 hours or so, or you could join Jason and the hundreds of judges around the world who keep the game fair and right, the DCI. So why not come down, join the judge community? You'll have a lot of fun, you'll learn a lot. I've learned a lot in the last 5 minutes, and some of these could be yours. Until we meet later in the day, for Jason Ness from the Tournament Centre, I'm Rich Hagan saying bye.